So there have been some recent allegations against SkyDoesMinecraft, aka NetNobody, aka Adam. We'll be referring to him as Adam for the sake of the video's clarity. The allegations were made by Elizabeth, which as far as I know, was only engaged to Adam, and after that, nothing ever really came from it. Now the stuff that Elizabeth says about Adam in this iCloud document is some crazy stuff. It is a very long read, so today I'm not here to waste your time. I'm gonna go through each paragraph, try to sum it up for you guys. If y'all wanna pause and read along with it, I encourage that as well. Let's just get into it. So this all started when Elizabeth posted an iCloud document onto her Twitter page and said that there is a lot to go over in here and people need to know the truth about Adam, and that there's evidence below that wouldn't load in the document, which I will go over after we go through the document. This first paragraph that I'm showing you basically sets the stage for everybody to know. Elizabeth telling everybody that she spent all this money to go over to live with Adam, and that Adam is a piece of shit almost as soon as she got with him. That he's manipulative, that he forced her to get pregnant, and when she did get pregnant, he didn't even really care about her. It was just one of those ahaha, I beat you moments. Part of the paragraph also talks about how Elizabeth thought she was just overreacting, and that all the excuses that Adam initially made about whether he was possibly on the spectrum or bipolar, she didn't care about that because she just wanted to have a good relationship with him, but that he would manipulate her and use her to pretty much do whatever the hell he wanted to. She even says how Adam would hide the relationship from everybody as a way to protect the relationship, but deep down she got the idea that it wasn't for that reason. The next paragraph is Elizabeth accusing Adam of cheating on her, as he had multiple texting apps, always hid messages, and deleted a bunch of conversations. He tried to pressure her into a poly relationship even though she didn't want to, and to top it all off, he made her propose to him when she didn't want to at all, and that apparently he wanted to buy the unborn baby for about 100 grand or something. She even mentions how when Adam agreed to the engagement, that he never told his audience that he forced it upon her. Elizabeth accuses Adam of stealing money from companies just to buy drugs, and that he never did the work he was supposed to. She had to go out of her way to somehow get money out of her ass, as she says, to try to pay back those individuals and pay whatever bills that were left. She said that she never had a clean place to sleep and that she would put all the effort into raising the baby and Adam wouldn't do anything. She even says how one night when she was making dinner, she decided to make two of his favorite foods, eggs and cheese and pasta, and that when he was given to it, he threw it on the ground and just started complaining that she made it and why would she put it together. She said that after that happened that she went and sat in the shower and cried for what felt like hours. On top of that, he would make a bunch of fake promises just so he could get control of her life, and that when getting ready for any sort of date night, he would usually complain about getting too tired and then he'd just invite his friends over, completely ruining it all. She even says how he was so careless about everything, and yet he told his fans that he was a great father and how excited he was, and that he made her do the birthday and Christmas shopping and then took all the credit for it. She goes on about how if anything went wrong, if any little thing happened and it happened to be her fault or anything, that Adam would immediately just start to berate her and treat her like shit. But whenever he would get emotional, that he would expect people to bow down and support him no matter what. She says how the constant drug abuse could completely ruin his life and that he knew it. He knew that it would put him into a permanent psychosis and that he would pressure his friends into doing drugs with him, and if they didn't want to, he would just start to degrade them. Elizabeth even talks about Elisa, who is Adam's ex-wife, and how he tried to use his platform to ruin her life, and that a lot of the things that Adam showed people on the internet, how Elisa was such a bad person, that there are some things that he did that could have made him look bad, and things that he caused that ended up making everybody look bad. Not to mention, Adam would only post his father pics whenever it's convenient so that people could think that he was involved the entire time. He would just lie and spread a bunch of disgusting rumors behind everyone's back. She goes on about how he would harass women over the years and would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to protect his image. He paid a girl to keep quiet because he almost got her pregnant. He sent pictures to a bunch of girls, and that Adam was an unfaithful person who would cheat anytime he could. Elizabeth even talks about Post Malone, how Adam was spreading rumors about him when, as far as she knew, Post Malone was trying to help him out and check in on him about the whole drug abuse and how his life was going. Sometime in February, Elizabeth starts to talk about how he just changed. He stopped eating normally and just got more and more mean, more angry, and more verbally abusive over the tiniest little things. She was scared for her life while being with this guy. He started breaking things, throwing things, pulling stuff off the walls. Their dog, Albert, he called him Elon Musk and forced him to drink Gatorade and eat candy, would lock the dog out outside when it was cold, and that the dog nearly froze to death multiple times. And better yet, when Adam was stable, he would still treat people like shit. He would clog the drains at night so that Elizabeth couldn't use the restroom and she would have to go to a store nearby just to do so. And despite all of this, she would still try to love him and try to somehow bring him back to normal, so to speak. She even talks about how he would talk to Ant Venom, and then when he wasn't around, he would say how he hated him so much. And reiterates that all the awful things he would do, she would still try to help him out. There was one time where he punched an amethyst and cut a gash into his knuckle, and that she was trying to clean it up and bandage it with her friends around, and that he just started putting blood on her face and arms, and on the walls, their lizard tanks, the restroom, the mirrors. He was just going crazy. She says how she would try to bring him to the hospital, and that one time when she did, that he was being completely uncooperative, that when she went up to him to try to help him get up out of his chair, that he just started screaming at her and kicked her in the belly when she was pregnant. Even while she wasn't there, she would still call him every hour to make sure that everything was all good. She would send messages and letters to him, and he would still treat her like shit no matter what. When he got home, he was medicated, but he stopped taking his medications because he said that he liked being powerful. She had to call the police, and they said squad cars and EMTs and all of that. She even talks about how Adam started to threaten to kill people, their friends, their roommate, Ant Venom for some reason. He was completely going insane. She says that she has dozens of these voice recordings, but that he threatened her to delete them when he found out about them. But the police know about the recordings. Elizabeth tells about this time how he was waving knives around and screaming at her, and that she had to call the police, and that they did arrest him, but that was one of the scariest things that she ever went through. He was hospitalized again, and that her life was falling apart. Now this next part, I have it blurred out because it is some really dark stuff, and I don't feel comfortable talking about it out loud. To sum it all up, she was gonna self-delete, but she got her stuff together and decided to keep pushing forward despite what Adam put her through. Elizabeth talks about his current girlfriend and how they're currently dating, and she knows a lot of stuff that went down, but she probably won't talk because they're dating at the moment, and how one time Adam dragged her off the bed and completely just dropped her to the floor while she was screaming in pain and crying. After all this constant abuse that she had been through, she called her father in the middle of the night, and he and her family came to basically save her. They picked her up, they loaded the stuff in the truck, and they left. She ended up giving birth to her daughter 2 months later, and she's still afraid to ever meet up with them again. Sometime in June, he made her lie to the fans when their relationship became public, and that he faked self-deleting several times because he said that it was funny and it was hot memes. She feels like she failed his fans, but that he would keep telling her, no one is going to believe you, they like me, not you. People didn't believe Elisa, they aren't gonna believe you. I'm SkyDoesMinecraft, of course people will believe anything I say, I just like to meme. Throughout this whole time, she was afraid to speak up about it online after what happened with Elisa, where he basically tried to ruin her life. But then she thought to herself, why? Why do I have to hold all this inside? Everybody deserves to know the truth about Adam, and that she will get hate, she understands it, she just wants him to heal, but she doesn't want him to hurt anybody else. Now, as mentioned before in the Twitter post, she tried posting all the evidence to the document, but it wouldn't work. So this kind of cuts the document off right here and there. This is some of the most vile stuff that I have read on the internet in a very long time about somebody. I never watched the guy a lot as a kid. I knew of his drug issues and I knew that, you know, drugs really messed him up, but this doesn't excuse anything that he's done. This is like some really evil shit. Like, this isn't your normal someone being mean. This is evil shit. And we still got the evidence to go through that Elizabeth posted on her Twitter, so here we go. Here we have Adam just being a general dickhead, but the top right corner is the one I want you to focus on. According to Elizabeth, the post I'm showing to the screen right now, he faked it just for attention. He literally posted this just to get attention and sympathy and manipulate people into feeling sorry for him. Here are just posts of Adam clearly not mentally well. You can tell he is not vibing with the conversation. He does not understand the seriousness of the conversation. Fake Friends is a song. That has nothing to do with the conversation. Elizabeth is being serious about what's going on and how she wants him to get the help that he needs, but he is just not all there in the head to understand the conversation. He's literally just spamming the same dinosaur over and over, not taking her words seriously whatsoever. The dude is just being an asshole. Here are more messages between the two in the same conversation, and Adam is clearly not there. He is just not on the same level as Elizabeth whatsoever throughout this entire time. I mean, it's sad, but knowing how manipulative the dude is, I can't really feel bad for him. Here we get a look at the inside of their house, and you can see that it's pretty messy everywhere. And I'd like to point out how she mentioned how her dog Albert would be forced to drink a lot of Gatorade. You can see a bunch of Gatorade bottles right there in the bottom right corner of the picture, so that's a pretty believable story. Now here we have the knife gash through the mattress that was said earlier, a document how he has to appear in court after getting arrested by the police, what looks to be his food that he got at the hospital or wherever he was at, and weird messages that he sent to a young girl. It doesn't look like it's anything inherently weird, but you could tell the dude is, you know, kinda not there. The text above are the messages that she sent after she broke and that he called her dad. And then you can see that they're in debt for over $6,000 at one point. Here we have more messages between the two, and it looks like she changed her phone at one point. And basically it's just Adam he's just not being a good parent. He's not with the script. He's just not keeping up with anything. The only time he ever wants to talk about something is last warning before I stop thinking about you, completely outside of fatherly duties. He only cares what he has to legally do, and then when Elizabeth tries to tell him, hey, you know, you gotta do your own things too, take your meds and all that, he kind of just starts going a little bit crazy or something. More messages between them, more calls between them, and more dinosaurs spanned by Adam. Here we have Adam telling Elizabeth that she makes him look like a shit person and that she just goes on him. He spends all the money on weeds instead of paying for hospital bills, and she says she still cares about him despite all the things that he put her through, that he just wants him to get the help that he desperately needs, and that he is just not with the conversation. I take the medication, I do everything asked of me. Still meanies. That's not something an adult in the right state of mind would say. It doesn't negate the kind of actions that he has done, but he's not in the right mental state at all. Here we have another screenshot of that one message earlier where he faked the self-deletion just for attention on the internet and said it was a joke. And then there's another message of him just giving up and wanting to start a new family with another person. Here we have Adam trying to manipulate Elizabeth again, threatening that he will never speak to her again or whatever, and she's just trying to get it across to him that he's being the bad person here. He's trying to make her look evil when he's the one who doesn't want to help himself at all. They even talk about the night when he dragged her off the bed and he thought he was being gentle, but according to Elizabeth, he was anything but gentle. Here's a picture of the police records and Adam when he got arrested that night when she called the cops. And then here's the junk food that he would always buy that she would tell him to stop buying, to stop eating because it's destroying his entire health. And here we have the case report from each police officer that went there and arrested him, telling their side of the story. And to sum it all up, everything that went down that she said in her document happened. Everything happened. The police officers' stories match up pretty well. You know, it's two different people. Obviously, there's going to be slight differences and whatnot, but everything matches up from both officers. They even mentioned how they saw a 12-inch long slice through the sheet, mattress cover, and mattress pad with the knife, which, as we saw earlier, happened. The cops here confirmed that that was a thing, so we know for a fact that Elizabeth wasn't lying at that part of the document at all. He was waving a knife around, and he ended up stabbing the bed because he was just going through another psychotic episode. The officer's story even match up on how he tried to attack or threatened to attack an officer and how they had to detain him at the hospital. So we know that Elizabeth was telling the truth and she has the officer's case report to back up her claim, which is pretty damn good evidence if you ask me. Here we have a screenshot of him apologizing to Elizabeth, but as we know, this is just another one of his manipulation tactics, so you can't really believe anything he's saying in here. And here we get to the video evidence. The first video you're gonna see right here is Elizabeth having a mental breakdown after Adam was trying to get $200 from her just so he could buy more weed and candy.
She's just sitting here screaming just because I asked her to send me back $100. Like, $200 actually, $222. And now she's screaming at me uncontrollably. Albert's just like fucking knocked out. He's like sleeping, big chilling, but she's just screaming at me.
Elizabeth then calls out Adam's current fiance for being a fake friend and letting people assume that she is the mother of the child. Here's another video of Adam when during the dinosaur spamming, whether it's the only time he did it or multiple times he's done it, he's just not on the same page.
Jingly jingly, jingly jingly, we will listen. Oh my gosh, I'm just busting pistachios over and over and over again into my mouth. Oh, I'm focused. I'm trying to make our kid.
The next video is Adam blatantly saying how he does not respect Elizabeth.
And right now, oh, I don't respect you.
And lastly, we have a video clip of her dog stuck in his kennel saying all the nasty things that Adam would do to him. After the doc came out, Ant Venom made his own piece and confirmed that what he knew about it in the videos and what she was talking about was true. Other people talk about how he was a feared person in YouTube in general and that he brought it upon himself, how he would try to hold somebody's channel name over them and try to get them to pay $100,000 for it back when they just decided to restart, and people having their own stories about dealing with Sky and Sky Media. This document that Elizabeth made and posted has opened up a can of worms that nobody could have ever seen coming. People already knew that Adam was fucked up on drugs already, but no one knew just how manipulative he was behind the scenes. And people are coming out, what, 10 years later with their stories about what he did to them back then? This dude has been an asshole before he got hooked on drugs and went crazy. He's just an awful person. He would just use people for his own personal gain and then spit them out and ignore them once he didn't need them anymore. As a kid, I always thought he was kind of shifty, but I could never pinpoint exactly what it was. Now, I completely understand that. Adam is just an awful human being even before he got hooked on drugs and completely ruined his entire life. He would treat people badly from the sounds of it. And it's just, honestly, it's not even sad anymore. It's just frustrating how long this has been going on. I remember how people would question why Adam and Austin Post Malone, why they wouldn't hang out anymore. And I think it's because Post Malone figured out pretty quickly that Adam just wants to use people for his own personal gain. So he got himself out of that situation, and now he's, you know, mega superstar music star. Elizabeth did a great job posting this document because as we speak, as this video comes out, there are more and more people telling their stories what they had to deal with when it came to dealing with Adam. So you know what? At the end of the day, it looks like Adam is finally getting his just desserts towards him. Almost decades being built up into this giant piece of, I don't even know what you want to call it anymore. It's not even drama. It's like, the dude is just awful. It seems like Elizabeth is finally getting her retribution that she deserves after showing everybody that Adam is an awful human being who doesn't deserve any sympathy whatsoever. I want to hear y'all's guys' opinion on this entire situation at hand. I know I didn't read every single sentence of the document, and that's because I like to keep things concise for y'all to understand, and from what y'all have seen so far, y'all know that SkyDoesMinecraft is an awful person. I'll say it right here. As a kid, I didn't like his videos. I didn't know what reason it was for, and now I have a reason why. He's just scum. He is pure scum of the earth. He was an asshole before he got fucked up on drugs, and now he would use drugs as an excuse on why he's so fucked up. When at the end of the day, this seemed to be happening way before that. What Adam put Elizabeth through is some of the most vile shit I have read in a very long time, and I hope he gets what's coming to him. I'm sorry. I'm usually, you know, kind of charitable. I'm kind of nice about it, but nah, this dude doesn't deserve no internet career no more. He doesn't deserve no good attention. He doesn't deserve the sympathy of anybody. Make sure to tell me your opinion in the comments below. Thank you for watching today's video. I mean, I wouldn't say I hope you enjoyed it, but I hope I got the information across to you guys well enough. If you did get the information well enough, make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, with all of that out of the way, I will see you guys later.